All right, so you can tell by my awesome graphics and my extremely high quality microphone that I'm a seasoned professional YouTuber, so I'm just going to jump right in. So for the game tonight, it was a tough loss against the Celtics. The Knicks continue to slide down the Eastern Conference, and we're just going through a brutal stretch right now. And this game was pretty weird for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the Knicks had 9 guys available tonight, but I say that 9 with air quotes because nothing short of 4 players becoming disqualified and or fatally injured would lead to Tyler Hall going into the game. And even then, Derrick Rose might have ran back to the tunnel and thrown his uniform on. Also, Selden played 9 minutes, so it was really a 7-man rotation with 3 centers and the 4 other guys. Out of the 4 other guys, they had 100 out of the 107 Knicks points. Kemba obviously being one of them. It only took McBride, Barrett quickly getting COVID, and Rose being injured for him to get a chance on the floor. Obviously, he had 29 points, so rotation's looking good. Obviously, you look at the numbers, and Kemba and Fournier had some great offensive games. I mean, Julius with 7 assists is probably the most annoying stat on this box score because it's going to force me into saying he's a good decision maker when we all know he's not. I mean, especially down the stretch. And to me, he's proven time and time again he cannot be trusted with the ball in his hands at pivotal moments. I watch a lot of Knicks games. He's kind of mastered that turn back to the rim, not recognize the double team, throw an extremely hard pass to a teammate with around 3 seconds left on the shot clock who's in an impossible situation, and then either a shot clock violation or a terribly missed shot. He's kind of perfected the craft of that move. All right, that was a bit of a rant. I mean, so this game had so much going on, and I think the Knicks would win for a brief moment, maybe, but realistically, no, no, I did not. It was definitely fun to watch, but there was that sinking feeling after we came back. That there's no shot we're closing this game feeling. I get that a lot with the Knicks. I mean, sometimes it's wrong, but a lot of the times it's right. I just feels like we watched 2 different teams between the third quarter and the fourth quarter. There was just something about the fourth quarter offense that just wasn't the same as the third. It was just that Kemba, Fournier, Randall trio that we all know and love, just not moving, just going slow. I mean, the Celtics shot the lights out in the first quarter, and Richardson hit some kind of insane shots down the stretch. I mean, maybe there wasn't a whole lot we could have done. I mean, in the Celtics, they had their main guys, so we were kind of outmanned. Just going forward, there's going to be so much headaches with playing time. I mean, I have no clue if the fan base could feasibly be pleased with any rotation or any combination of guys when everybody's healthy. I mean, I think everybody was won over by Kemba tonight, and everybody loves Rose and McBride. I love Rose and McBride myself. I mean, you can't really get away from Fournier with the last few games he's had. I mean, but people want to see Grimes and RJ. I want to see Grimes and RJ. People want to see Obi and Knox, but Knox was literally only playing because Obi had COVID. And Randall plays 35 minutes a game at the power forward position. A bit of a side note. I don't think Tibbs is a big fan of Mitch, and I think a Miles for Mitch trade would salvage the season very quickly. I think Turner would work pretty well with Randall, because if Randall wants to bully inside, you're going to need shooters everywhere, and the only shooting big we ever put aside Randall is Obi, and I think Obi is the statistically worst 3-point shooter of all time, and that was not fact checked at all. Yeah, but I just don't know what the team's going to look like when everyone's healthy. I mean, you could look at today's game in one of 2 ways. The negative way would view this game as a setback, because now Kemba and Fournier playing great. That's only going to solidify their spot on the team when they're really not helping us win. And we need guys like IQ and Grimes playing heavy minutes with some McBride as well. Or you could look at it on the positive side. This could be a sign, maybe the vets might actually play competent basketball. And maybe going forward, they help us win. And Tibbs allows the vets to play, but still gives young guys enough opportunities. Ultimately, it boils down to whether or not the vets can win games. I still think this team can be competitive, but there's a serious problem with the starters. I think more often than not, a lineup like guys like IQ, Grimes, RJ, Julius, Nerlens, with a good amount of Obi and McBride could really help us win games, but you need that veteran presence at some point. I mean, it's just a headache, because who do you bench? With Tibbs, I hate to say it, it's going to be the young guys more likely than not. Me personally, I'm a big bench or trade Fournier guy. I don't think he really helps us win. I think Kemba could help us win, maybe. Conveniently enough, though, Fournier's been kind of shooting really well recently. Here's a COVID update. You'll notice that every entertaining, inspiring, and effort-giving player on our team, probably besides Rose, has coronavirus, which is just splendid. They're also just coincidentally playing the best basketball of their entire careers at the very moment before they got COVID. So, maybe it is a good sign. Maybe it shows that the young guys all hang out and they have a nice tight friendship. And that's why they all got the virus. I don't know. We really need these guys back, though, if we're going to be competitive in the East. I mean, the NBA right now is like survivors between the have-COVIDs and have-nots. Hopefully by the All-Star break or before then, it's kind of all settled down. We can just play basketball.
Also, I made a mistake in the graphic. The Timberwolves game is on December 28th.
I mean, going forward, we're only two and a half games back of the 6th seed, which is obviously the playoffs and not the play-in. And if you look at the 7 games coming up, realistically, I think we could win 5 at least. That looks pretty doable. I mean, you got Detroit twice. Oklahoma City. You're gonna have to beat Toronto. And then Atlanta, Washington, and Minnesota are 3 solid teams, but you're gonna have to win games. And I don't know. I think if we win 5 out of the next 7, we'll be in a decent spot. Who knows who's going to be playing? That was kind of I kind of rambled on there with no rhyme or reason, but it's my first video of all time, so I'm going to give myself a little slack here. Please comment some thoughts about the game or the state of the Knicks, because if you don't, then I'm literally just sitting in my basement talking to myself.